Far beyond the edge of known space, in a dark and silent corner of the galaxy, lay a dead planet. Its surface was cracked and lifeless, the remains of mountains crumbling into dust. Nothing lived here now, and no spacecraft had visited this system in centuries, but beneath the surface something slept, a secret older than most civilizations in the galaxy. A small alien mining vessel hovered above the planet, scanning the terrain for minerals and valuable ores. The crew was made of a species called the Kalari, tall, silver-scaled beings with sharp eyes and precise minds. They had come expecting a simple job: dig, gather, and leave. Instead, their scanners began to beep erratically. "What is that?" asked Commander Rith, his voice sharp but filled with curiosity. The readings were strange. A faint energy signature pulsed beneath the planet's crust, unlike any natural formation or mining anomaly they had seen before. "We should investigate. Carefully," said Lieutenant Vora. "It might be dangerous." But curiosity outweighed caution. The Kalari deployed a drilling probe, sending it deep into the ground. It pierced the layers of rock and metal that had protected the object for centuries. As the drill reached its final depth, a sudden pulse of energy surged upward. Lights flickered across the Kalari ship, and alarms blared. From deep underground, a voice echoed, not in sound, but in thought. A presence awakened. It was ancient, precise and commanding. A massive supercarrier, long buried and forgotten, began to rise from the planet's depths. Its hull was sleek, unlike any ship the Kalari had ever built. Metals shimmered in the dim light of distant. Stars and strange symbols along its sides glowed softly. This was the human vessel Titan's Pride, lost to history centuries ago, now returning to the galaxy. The Kalari stepped back, wide-eyed, as the supercarrier emerged. Its engines hummed with quiet power, and slowly, gracefully it broke the surface. Dust and rock tumbled off its hull as the planet shook with the carrier's weight. The entire system seemed to pause, as if the stars themselves were watching. This awakening, Commander Rith raised his voice, trembling slightly. This is impossible. Humans are legends. They vanished long before we had fleets. And yet, this ship, it moves. The carrier's AI, Aegis, activated immediately. Its voice was calm, deep, and resonant, filling the space around. Humans may have been gone from this sector, it said, but humanity endures. "I am the guardian of Titan's Pride. State your intent." The Kalari crew froze. They were used to encountering strange phenomena, but nothing like this. The AI did not attack. It did not issue threats. It simply awaited a reply, perfectly, confident, unyielding, and precise. We come in peace," stammered Rith. "We did not know humans would return. We were mining, that is all." "Acknowledged," said Aegis. "Your presence is noted. You may observe, but do not interfere. Humans shall rise again, and this sector will witness their return." The Kalari looked at one another. News of a human supercarrier emerging after centuries could shake the entire galaxy. Rumors of humans had long been told in whispered stories. They were said to be brilliant, fearless, and creative beyond measure. Some had claimed humans had vanished because they destroyed themselves. Others believed humanity had moved to another galaxy, leaving no trace behind. And yet here they were, alive in metal and power, awakening from the darkness of time. Commander Rith composed himself. This changes everything. We must report this immediately. Other fleets will react. We cannot keep this a secret." "Aegis, what is your mission?" asked Vora, still trying to comprehend the enormity of the moment. "To awaken humanity's legacy," the AI replied. "To protect and preserve. To ensure that knowledge, ethics, and human ingenuity return to the galaxy." The Kalari watched as the carrier systems came online. Weapons were armed, but not aggressively. Shields hummed with energy, but they were defensive. The ship moved with the elegance of a creature, responding to commands that seemed almost alive. Small drones emerged from hidden bays, mapping the surroundings and repairing minor damage from centuries underground. Every movement reflected precision, intelligence, and a deep understanding of survival. On the surface of the dead planet, ancient human symbols etched into stone began to glow faintly, resonating with the carrier above. It was as if the planet itself recognized its long-lost occupant. Commander Rith gave orders to hold position. Do not provoke it. Observe only. Report only. But even as they watched, the Kalari could sense a change across the stars. The awakening of the human carrier sent ripples through the galaxy. Sensors from nearby systems began detecting unusual energy spikes. Messages sent from automated networks, long dormant, were activated. Aliens in other sectors, unaware of what had happened here, suddenly felt unease, a premonition that something powerful had returned. Inside the carrier, humans began to awaken. They had been in stasis chambers for centuries, preserved carefully by advanced technology. One by one, they opened their eyes, blinking against the light. Their first sight was the stars, distant and familiar yet changed. They did not panic, they did not fear. Their training, instincts, and intelligence returned with them like old friends. Captain Elias Marr, leader of the crew, rose from his stasis chamber. He was calm, composed, and filled with quiet determination. Report, he said. Aegis responded instantly. Sensors indicate alien presence in orbit. Energy signature analysis suggests curiosity mixed with fear. No immediate threat detected. Elias studied the readings, then looked through the viewports at the Kalari fleet below. They do not know us. They think we are legend. We must show them who humanity truly is, but with caution. We are not here to destroy. We are here to awaken. The human crew began familiarizing themselves with the systems, reconnecting with AI controls, engines, and weapons. The ship itself seemed to recognize them, responding to subtle gestures and commands without voice. Every detail was designed for efficiency and survival, human ingenuity perfected over centuries. Outside, the Kalari debated. We must leave, said one officer. They are too powerful. Even if they do not attack, their presence is a threat. Commander Rith hesitated. No. We must observe. We must understand. And perhaps we can communicate. The humans made their first move, not an attack, but a gesture of peace. Titan's pride extended a massive communication array, sending signals in long-forgotten human code. The message was simple. We are awake. We come in peace. The Kalari intercepted the transmission. Confused but curious, they realized it was not a threat. The humans were speaking, not with weapons, but with intelligence, with words, with history. Can this be true? Rith whispered. They are reaching out, after centuries, alive and aware. For the first time in centuries, humans had returned to the galaxy, and for the first time in generations, the galaxy began to feel both awe and fear. As the sun set over the barren, planet Titan's pride floated in orbit, silent but immense. The Kalari kept their distance, unsure of what to do next. And deep within the carrier, humans prepared for a future that had waited far too long. Aegis spoke again, its voice steady and firm. Humanity shall rise. And when it does, the galaxy will remember what humans are capable of: ethics, courage, and ingenuity. But first, we must awaken fully. We must be ready. Below, the Kalari fleet watched in silence. They had come for minerals, and instead they witnessed history itself. Somewhere across the stars, other civilizations sensed the awakening as well. A faint tremor of fear spread from system to system. The legends of humanity, long dismissed as myth, were true. And now, the humans were awake. The galaxy had no idea what was coming next, and Titan's pride had only just begun to rise. The Kalari fleet hovered nervously above the dead planet. Ships glimmered like silver blades against the faint light of distant stars, their engines humming with restrained power. Commander Rith paced on the bridge of the lead vessel, his mind racing. Humanity, long thought extinct, had returned in a form that surpassed every legend. Should we attempt communication again? asked Lieutenant Vora, her voice calm but wary. "We need to understand their intent before anyone panics." Rith shook his scaled head. "I don't know if they'll even understand us. Their technology is unlike anything we've seen. But we have to try. If we misinterpret them, it could lead to war." Inside the Titan's Pride, humans were ready. Captain Elias Marr stood on the observation deck, overlooking the alien fleet below. His eyes were steady, calm, and focused. Beside him, AI Aegis prepared the communication systems. "Transmit the peace signal," Elias ordered. "Make it clear. We come to observe, not to conquer." Aegis's voice resonated through the carrier. "Message prepared. Broadcasting now, in multiple galactic frequencies, including translations for known alien dialects." Across the Kailari fleet, screens flickered as the human transmission reached them. Symbols and words, ancient and yet precise, glowed across their displays. The message was simple but powerful. "We are awake. We come in peace. We seek understanding, not conquest." Commander Rith and his officers studied the transmission carefully. No aggression, no threats, only the calm, measured voice of an intelligence far older than their own. This is unprecedented," whispered Vora. "They are ethical. They are not attacking." But even as the Kailari tried to understand, some among them panicked. Younger officers, unused to diplomacy with unknown forces, urged preemptive strikes. "We cannot take chances," one yelled. "If humans are alive, they are dangerous. Attack them before they attack us." Rith slammed his clawed hand on the console. "No, that is exactly what could start a war. We observe, we communicate. Nothing more." Back on the Titan's Pride, humans began to awaken fully from their stasis chambers. Crew members moved with the ease of trained soldiers and explorers, their muscles remembering the discipline of long-forgotten drills. Scientists, engineers, and strategists activated control stations, coordinating with Aegis. Every movement was precise, deliberate, and intelligent. Captain Elias walked along the bridge, observing the fleet below. "They fear us," he said, quietly. "But we do not seek their fear. We must show them who humanity truly is, not through violence but through intelligence, courage, and honor." Aegis projected a holographic display of the Kailari ships. Their reactions are mixed. Approximately 60% are observing, 25% are debating aggression, 15% are in full panic mode. Probability of misunderstanding is high. Elias nodded. "Then we proceed carefully. Open a channel. Invite a small delegation to visit the carrier. Let them see we are not a threat." Minutes later, a single Kailari shuttle broke formation and approached Titan's Pride. Its engines glowed softly as it glided through the silent void. On board, Commander Rith and 2 senior officers prepared themselves. They knew this could determine the fate of the galaxy. As the shuttle docked, human crew members activated the airlock. Captain Elias and a small team of humans greeted the alien visitors. "Welcome aboard," Elias said, his voice steady and calm. "You have nothing to fear." The Kailari stepped inside cautiously, their eyes scanning the enormous carrier. Machines and consoles hummed with energy, and the walls glimmered with symbols unfamiliar to them. Yet despite the alien design, there was a sense of order, intelligence, and purpose. "This is incredible," Rith said, finally finding words. "Your technology, it surpasses everything in our records." "You are humans?" Elias smiled faintly. "Yes, humans. And we have returned to observe, learn, and preserve knowledge. We do not wish to conquer. We wish only to awaken our place in the galaxy, peacefully." The Kalari officers looked at each other in disbelief. They had expected weapons, destruction, and aggression. Instead, they found calm, intelligence, and reason. The humans moved with confidence but without arrogance, demonstrating skills and knowledge that seemed to belong to legends. One of the Kailari officers finally spoke. "If what you say is true, if humanity is truly alive, the galaxy will panic," Other civilizations, other fleets, and they will not know how to respond. Elias nodded. We understand. That is why we come carefully. We wish to show that humans are not merely powerful. They are ethical. We act with reason, not recklessness. Meanwhile, back in orbit, other alien fleets began to take notice. Sensors from nearby systems picked up unusual energy spikes. Automated communication networks, long dormant, began broadcasting warnings. Human supercarrier detected. Unknown species revived. Potential threat, prepare defenses. The galaxy was stirring. Messages raced from system to system and fear spread quickly. Rumors of humans had always existed, but now proof had arrived. A supercarrier, alive and fully operational, represented not only power but also knowledge and ingenuity, far beyond what most civilizations possessed. Inside Titan's pride, the humans worked quickly. Engineers calibrated energy systems, scientists studied the planet below, and strategists analyzed alien behavior. Aegis coordinated all operations, ensuring the carrier remained fully operational while avoiding unnecessary provocation. Captain Elias addressed his crew. We must act wisely. Every move we make will be observed. The galaxy will judge humanity by what we do next. Let them see our strength is not only in weapons, but in intellect, ethics, and courage. Outside, a small skirmish began, unintentionally. A nervous Kalari officer fired a warning shot at one of the carrier's drones. The shot missed, but it triggered alarms. The humans, cautious but prepared, responded by deploying defensive shields around the drone, preventing damage to anyone. The Kalari panicked further, but Elias remained calm. We do not fight unless necessary, he said to Aegis. Show them that humanity defends, not attacks indiscriminately. Aegis projected the action across the alien fleet, showing how the humans had deflected aggression without harm. Slowly, fear began to mix with respect. The Kailari realized these were not reckless warriors. They were disciplined, ethical, and highly intelligent. As the first delegation returned to their shuttle, Rith turned to his officers. We have witnessed what humans are capable of, he said. Their technology, their discipline, and their ethics. If they had chosen to fight, we would already be destroyed. Instead, they teach restraint. We must report this carefully, without panic. Vora added, and yet, even with restraint, the galaxy will not accept them quietly. Other species will prepare even if humans do not seek conflict. Their presence changes everything. Elias watched the shuttle leave, then turned to his crew. This is only the beginning. The galaxy fears what it does not understand. We must prove that humanity's return brings wisdom, not destruction. But we must also be ready. Some will challenge us. Some will act out of fear. The carrier drifted in orbit, silent but powerful. The stars reflected off its sleek hull, and the humans continued their work, awakening fully from centuries of slumber. Every system hummed with life and readiness. In the distance, other fleets began to mobilize. Rumors spread quickly, and messages raced across the galaxy. Humans are alive. The legends are true. A supercarrier has returned. Panic, curiosity, and awe swept through countless civilizations. No one could predict what humans would do, or how they would respond to centuries of absence. Captain Elias knew that first contact had been successful. Violence had been avoided and respect had been earned. But he also knew that the galaxy was watching, and that humanity's return would be tested. Aegis spoke softly, but firmly. Humans are awake. Observers have been contacted. Probabilities of misunderstanding remain high. Strategic caution is advised. Elias nodded. We will proceed carefully. Humanity does not fight without reason, but we are ready. Let the galaxy see that humans are more than legends. They are intelligence, courage, and ethics in action. Far beyond the planet, signals from distant civilizations picked up the carrier's presence. Aliens across multiple systems paused, wondering whether to flee, attack, or observe. For the first time in generations, the galaxy faced a power it could neither predict nor ignore. and humanity, finally awake, prepared for the trials ahead. The awakening had begun, but the first real test, the question of trust versus fear, was only just starting. The galaxy had taken notice. Across multiple star systems, fleets scrambled, sensors scanned, and ambassadors debated. Rumors spread like wildfire. A human supercarrier had returned, fully operational, carrying humans who had been lost to history for centuries. In orbit around the dead planet, Titan's Pride floated like a silent sentinel. Its crew moved with precision, awakening fully from stasis and preparing for the challenges that lay ahead. Captain Elias Marr stood on the observation deck, his eyes scanning the distant stars. "The galaxy fears what it does not understand," he said quietly. "They have heard of humans, but now they see proof. And with proof comes both awe and panic. We must be ready for both." Aegis, the ship's AI, projected a holographic display of nearby alien fleets. Multiple species have begun mobilization. Approximately 30 fleets are converging on this sector. Most are cautious, but some show signs of aggressive intent. Probability of minor skirmishes is high. Elias nodded. "Then let's show them the truth. Humanity's strength is not just in weapons, but in intelligence, strategy, and ethics. Prepare the systems. We may need to defend ourselves, but we will not attack without reason." Meanwhile, across the orbiting fleets, panic mixed with curiosity. The Kalari, still recovering from their initial shock, acted as observers and intermediaries. Their reports spread to nearby systems, and soon alien species far and wide were reacting. Some debated whether to strike preemptively, while others hoped for diplomacy. Suddenly, a small patrol of alien ships approached the carrier. They did not fire but circled cautiously, scanning, probing. Aegis detected the energy signatures. "They are testing our response. I recommend measured demonstration of defensive capabilities," Elias agreed. "Let them see we can protect ourselves but do not harm them. Non-lethal demonstration only." The carrier activated its defensive systems. Energy shields shimmered across its hull, projecting faint waves of power that lit the void like a second sun. Automated drones emerged from hidden bays, moving with calculated precision, demonstrating the human mastery of technology without engaging the aliens. The alien pilots gasped at the display. Their weapons were useless against shields designed centuries before their species had even discovered faster-than-light travel. They could feel power, intelligence, and control, yet they sensed no malice. "Humanity," whispered one Kalari pilot. "They are not merely powerful. They are perfect in precision." And yet, even as respect grew, fear remained. A more aggressive alien fleet from the neighboring system, the Vortak, did not wait for diplomacy. Their ships were faster and heavily armed, and their admiral, a calculating strategist named Zarvik, believed in preemptive action. "This is unacceptable," Zarvik barked from his command bridge. "A species lost for centuries returns without warning. If we do not act, they will dominate the galaxy. Attack now. Destroy before they awaken fully." His fleet moved swiftly, engines glowing bright against the dark expanse. Sensors detected their advance. Titan's Pride was ready, but Elias did not panic. "Deploy countermeasures," he ordered. "Activate decoys and defensive drones. We do not fight unless necessary, but we must defend ourselves." As the Vortak fleet closed in, the humans demonstrated the efficiency and brilliance of their tactics. Shields expanded and shifted in response to incoming energy pulses. Drones intercepted missiles, redirecting them harmlessly into space. Humans' strategy was not brute force but precision, protecting themselves while minimizing harm to attackers. The first exchange occurred, not as an act of aggression, but as a defensive necessity. A Vortak frigate fired a beam at the carrier, aiming to disable its systems. In response, the carrier deployed a targeted counterwave, a non-lethal pulse that temporarily disrupted the frigate's engines, sending it drifting harmlessly into orbit. Zarvik's eyes widened. Impossible. Their defenses, No ordinary fleet could survive this. Inside the carrier, humans worked seamlessly. Engineers recalibrated shields in real time. Strategists analyzed enemy maneuvers and predicted outcomes. Scientists monitored energy fluctuations and adjusted the carrier's systems. Each crew member acted with intelligence and teamwork that seemed almost superhuman. Captain Elias observed it all. "Let them see that humans are not merely fighters," he said. "We are thinkers, planners, and protectors. Power without wisdom is meaningless. Show them what humanity truly is." The Vortok fleet tried again, coordinating attacks in patterns meant to overwhelm. But the humans anticipated each move. Every strike was met with a measured response. Ships were disabled, not destroyed. Systems were neutralized, not obliterated. Every action demonstrated restraint, intelligence, and superior technology. Across the galaxy, sensors picked up the engagement. Other civilizations watching from afar were awed. Many began sending envoys hoping to understand humans before taking hostile action. Some fleets, previously ready for war, hesitated, realizing that humans were unlike any species they had faced before. Meanwhile, the crew of Titan's Pride made contact with the Kalari delegation. They exchanged information, sharing knowledge of the galaxy, of current civilizations, and of human history. Humans explained that they had once been explorers, scientists, and leaders of interstellar diplomacy. Their return was not conquest, it was awakening. Rith, the Kalari commander, was amazed. "Your records, your knowledge, it surpasses anything in our archives. You were masters of science, art, and strategy. And now, you are here again." Elias nodded. "Humanity does not seek domination. We seek understanding and growth. But the galaxy must know that we are capable of defending ourselves, and that our ethics guide our actions." As the Vortak fleet finally retreated, they left with both fear and admiration. They had encountered humans at full strength and seen that their legends were true. Yet the humans had not sought unnecessary destruction. They had fought, but only when forced. Aegis projected a summary of the engagement. Probability of peace with most nearby fleets has increased significantly. Probability of aggressive action has decreased. Humans have demonstrated strategic superiority and ethical conduct. Elias smiled faintly. "Good. The galaxy must understand that human power is measured not only in strength, but in wisdom. This is our advantage. Intelligence and ethics combined with technology beyond their imagining." But even as the immediate threat subsided, humans knew more challenges awaited. Across the stars, rumors spread of the carrier's awakening. Other civilizations, curious and fearful, began mobilizing. Some sought alliances, others prepared defenses, and some, driven by fear, began plotting preemptive attacks. The humans continued their work. Engineers refined energy systems, ensuring the carrier could defend itself against larger fleets. Scientists studied alien communication networks, preparing for diplomacy. Strategists developed plans for exploration, defense, and first contact. With unknown civilizations, Captain Elias addressed the crew. "We have shown the galaxy that humans are awake. We have defended ourselves without unnecessary violence. But our work has just begun. The galaxy is watching, and every move we make will define humanity's place for centuries to come. We must be ready, for allies, for enemies, and for challenges we cannot yet imagine." Aegis added, "Humanity's presence has altered the probabilities across multiple sectors. The galaxy is in a state of flux. Cooperation and caution will determine the outcome of future engagements." The humans knew this was only the beginning. Centuries of absence had left the galaxy without guidance, and their return was shaking the foundations of civilizations everywhere. Yet they remained calm, prepared, and confident. Humans had survived before, and they would survive again, through intelligence, strategy, and ethics. As night fell over the dead planet, Titan's Pride floated silently in orbit, a beacon of human ingenuity and resilience. The stars reflected off its hull, glimmering like a promise to the galaxy. Humans were back. and with them, the legends of courage, ethics, and intelligence had returned, stronger than ever. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's might, and now it would never be the same. The galaxy was no longer silent. Across multiple star systems, fleets moved with purpose. News of Titan's pride had spread like a comet, sparking curiosity, fear, and admiration. Many species mobilized, unsure whether humans were friends or a threat. The humans, however, were calm, prepared, and focused on what lay ahead. Captain Elias Marr stood on the bridge of the Supercarrier, observing holographic displays of the approaching fleets. Each ship was different, some large and armored, others fast and agile. Their numbers far exceeded the humans' own, but Elias was unafraid. Humanity had survived impossible odds before, and intelligence, strategy, and ethics were their greatest weapons. Aegis status report, Elias ordered. The largest armada has been detected, Aegis replied. Approximately 95 capital ships with hundreds of smaller support vessels. Their strategy appears focused on overwhelming force. Probability of direct engagement, high. Probability of negotiation, low. Elias nodded. Prepare the defensive systems. Activate shields, deploy drones, and ready the non-lethal countermeasures. We do not seek war, but we must defend ourselves. As the alien armada advanced, the humans worked with flawless coordination. Engineers adjusted energy flows to the carrier's shields, strengthening weak points. Strategists predicted enemy movements, providing real-time guidance to the crew. Scientists monitored energy readings, ready to optimize defensive systems. Every human on board knew their role, acting in perfect harmony. From the observation deck, Elias watched the alien fleets approach. Their engines flared, casting bright light across the void. They expected fear, panic, and mistakes. Instead, they encountered calm precision. The first wave of enemy ships fired their weapons. Energy beams and missiles streaked toward the carrier, but Aegis responded instantly. Shields shifted, drones intercepted projectiles, and defensive pulses neutralized attacks without causing unnecessary destruction. The aliens were stunned. Their attacks had no effect, and yet the humans were not aggressively fighting back. It was unlike anything they had encountered. Admiral Zarvek of the Vortak fleet shouted orders, his voice filled with frustration. How can they withstand this? Their technology, it defies logic. Attack harder, focus all fire. But the humans remained calm. Captain Elias gave precise commands. Do not retaliate unnecessarily. Protect, disable, and outmaneuver. Show them that human strength is guided by ethics. Titan's pride moved like a living entity. It shifted in orbit, adjusting its position with grace and precision. Its drones darted through space, intercepting enemy weapons and rerouting energy flows. Alien attacks were neutralized, not destroyed, demonstrating a combination of power and restraint that left the invaders in awe. Across the galaxy, other civilizations watched the engagement. Many began to reconsider their stance on humans. Some sent emissaries hoping to ally with this emerging force. Others hesitated, unsure whether aggression would provoke retaliation. Within the carrier, humans worked tirelessly. Lieutenant Kale, the chief engineer, monitored shield strength and energy reserves. Captain, we are fully operational. Our systems can sustain prolonged engagement if necessary. Elias nodded. Good. Keep the systems ready. We do not know how many fleets may converge. Our goal is not conquest but preservation and protection. As the battle continued, smaller alien factions began to act independently. Some tried to sneak past defenses to attack from unexpected angles. Others sent envoys seeking dialogue. The humans responded with strategy and precision. They neutralized threats without destroying ships, and they opened communication channels with those willing to listen. One such alien leader, a diplomat from the Tyrell species, transmitted a message. We wish to join your cause. Your actions show wisdom and ethics that are rare among stars. Teach us to protect, not conquer. Captain Elias smiled. Prepare for their arrival. We welcome allies who share our values. The battle intensified as the main armada pressed forward. Enemy weapons slammed against the carrier's shields, sending energy ripples across space. Humans moved with unmatched coordination. Tactical commands were issued, drones repositioned, and shields adjusted. Every strike from the enemy was met with a calculated response, and every move demonstrated human ingenuity. Admiral Zarvek, growing desperate, ordered a concentrated strike. A fleet of 50 vessels charged directly at Titan's Pride, aiming to overwhelm the defenses. Focus all countermeasures on the center approach, Elias commanded. Deploy drone interceptors and redirect energy from shields to critical points. Prepare for close engagement if necessary. The humans executed flawlessly. Drones intercepted the ships, disabling engines and systems without harming crews. Energy pulses redirected attacks harmlessly into space. The Vortak fleet was forced to retreat, their aggression neutralized by strategy, not sheer firepower. Across the galaxy, reports of the battle spread rapidly. News of humans who fought with intelligence, ethics, and restraint inspired both fear and admiration. Fleets that had planned preemptive strikes paused, realizing that humanity's power was not just in weapons, but in mind, ethics, and coordination. Within the carrier, the crew felt a mix of relief and determination. They had defended themselves successfully, demonstrated human superiority, and protected life. Yet they knew the war for acceptance in the galaxy was only beginning. Captain Elias addressed the crew. We have shown that humans are awake, capable, and ethical. But this is only the first challenge. The galaxy watches. Many will fear, many will admire, and some may test us again. We must continue to act with intelligence and courage. Aegis added, probability of further engagement remains high. Strategic alliances are forming. Recommendation, continue diplomacy while maintaining defensive readiness. The humans agreed. They began coordinating with new allies, combining strengths to create a network of defense and communication. Each species brought unique abilities and knowledge, but all recognized the leadership and intelligence of humans. As the alien armada retreated, the galaxy began to change. Civilizations once suspicious of one another started to cooperate, inspired by humanity's actions. The presence of humans acted as a catalyst for diplomacy, ethics, and unity. Elias walked along the bridge, observing his crew. Engineers adjusted systems, strategists refined plans, and scientists analyzed data. Every human moved with purpose, demonstrating skill, intelligence, and calm leadership. Humanity has returned, Elias said softly. And with us, we bring knowledge, ethics, and courage. We will defend life, guide discovery, and inspire the galaxy. But we must remain vigilant. Some will fear, some will challenge, and some will seek to exploit. We must be ready for all. Below, the planet remained silent, unaware of the history being written in its orbit. Above, Titan's Pride floated as a beacon of human ingenuity, discipline, and ethical power. The carrier had faced the largest armada in the sector, and humanity had triumphed, not through destruction, but through intelligence and restraint. The galaxy would never forget this moment. Humans had returned, demonstrating that strength and ethics could coexist. Civilizations began to recognize that true power lay not in weapons alone, but in wisdom, coordination, and courage. Captain Elias turned to Aegis. Prepare for next steps. We must explore, communicate, and ensure that humanity's return benefits all. The galaxy watches, and our actions now will define the next era. Aegis responded, calm and confident. Understood, Captain. Humanity's legacy will continue. Systems are ready, allies are prepared. Probability of successful diplomacy and protection, high. The crew felt a renewed sense of purpose. Centuries of absence had left the galaxy unaware of humanity's full potential. Now, humans had shown that they could defend themselves, act ethically, and inspire cooperation. The battle for legacy was not just about survival. It was about proving that humans belonged among the stars. As the alien fleets withdrew, emissaries from other civilizations began approaching cautiously. They sought dialogue, knowledge, and guidance. The galaxy was beginning to see humans not as a threat, but as a force for intelligence, ethics, and progress. Captain Elias knew that the fight was not over. Challenges would come, tests would arrive, and some civilizations would resist. But humans were ready. They had awakened fully, demonstrated their capabilities, and inspired allies. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. Above the dead planet, Titan's pride glimmered under starlight, a symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. It had faced overwhelming odds, neutralized aggression without unnecessary destruction, and begun forming alliances that could reshape the galaxy. Elias looked at his crew and said, "We have proven ourselves today, but the galaxy is vast. More challenges await. Let us be ready, not only to defend, but to guide, to inspire, and to act with courage and wisdom. Humanity has risen, and we will ensure that our legacy endures." The stars twinkled above, silent, witnesses to the battle. And in that vast, endless void, the humans prepared for a future filled with both trials and triumphs. The galaxy had seen the humans' might, but now it would see their heart. The galaxy had changed. Word of humanity's return spread across systems faster than any fleet could travel. Civilizations once suspicious or indifferent now watched with a mix of awe, curiosity, and apprehension. Titan's pride, the human, Supercarrier, had proven that humans were not only alive but capable of defending themselves with intelligence, strategy, and restraint. Yet the galaxy remained cautious. Captain Elias Marr stood on the bridge of the carrier, overlooking the vast expanse of stars. His crew worked efficiently, preparing for the next phase. Not just defense, but leadership and cooperation. Humanity's return was not merely about survival. It was about guiding the galaxy toward knowledge, ethics, and progress. "Aegis," Elias said, "what is the status of our allies and observers?" "Multiple species have pledged cooperation," Aegis replied. "Several fleets remain cautious, but their probability of support is increasing. The galaxy is ready for unified guidance if humans lead with wisdom and integrity." Elias nodded. "Good. Prepare communications channels. We will reach out to all civilizations willing to listen. Let them understand that humans seek cooperation, not domination." The humans began sending out transmissions using careful diplomacy and transparency. They shared knowledge of their technology, their history, and their ethics. They explained the principles that had guided humanity across centuries: intelligence, courage, and moral responsibility. Messages were received across hundreds of star systems. Some were met with enthusiasm, others with skepticism, but all were noticed. In orbit of the dead planet, the remnants of alien fleets waited, uncertain of the humans' next move. Admiral Zarvek of the Vortak fleet, once aggressive and defiant, watched carefully. His systems had been disabled in previous encounters, yet no humans had destroyed lives unnecessarily. He could not deny their superiority. "They are different," Zarvek muttered to his officers. "Their strength is not only in weapons, it is in intellect, strategy, and ethics. We must respect them, even if we do not fully understand them." Elsewhere, other civilizations debated alliances. The Terrell and Kailari, impressed by humans' restraint and skill, formed joint missions to explore and study the galaxy. They shared resources, knowledge, and fleets. Humans in turn offered guidance, teaching allies how to defend themselves effectively while preserving life. Captain Elias convened a council within Titan's pride. Representatives from several species joined the humans. Holographic maps displayed key systems, trade routes, and potential threats. Discussions were calm, intelligent, and solution-focused. "We must unify the galaxy, not through force, but through guidance and cooperation," Elias said. "Humanity's return is not a threat, it is an opportunity. Let us show that intelligence and ethics can lead to lasting peace and progress." Aegis monitored the discussions and projected potential outcomes. Probability of widespread cooperation is increasing. Strategic initiatives led by humans have the highest probability of success. provided ethical and intelligent guidance is maintained. Outside, the galaxy remained vast and unpredictable. Some fleets remained hesitant, unsure of humans' motives. Yet as humans demonstrated consistent ethical behavior, intelligence, and strategic guidance, suspicion began to fade. On the planet's surface, alien observers noted the changes in their respective fleets. Weapons were lowered, tension eased, and communication channels opened. Humans were proving that true power was not only in firepower, but in leadership, ethics, and the ability to inspire. Meanwhile, within the carrier, human crew members prepared for exploration. They repaired and upgraded systems, trained in diplomacy, and readied their minds for the challenges ahead. Every person aboard understood the gravity of the moment. They were not only protecting themselves, they were shaping a new era for the galaxy. Captain Elias reflected on the centuries humans had spent in absence. Lost civilizations, forgotten colonies, and abandoned worlds, all were now within reach. Yet the past mistakes of humanity would guide their actions. Power without ethics had caused conflict once before. Now intelligence guided by moral responsibility would ensure a different future. Aegis reported an anomaly detected in a distant sector. An unknown energy signature is approaching. Its magnitude suggests it could be a natural phenomenon, or a previously unknown species. Caution and preparation are advised. Elias nodded. Prepare exploration teams. We will investigate peacefully, learn, and if possible, communicate. Humanity's return must be one of understanding, not fear. As humans prepared, the galaxy shifted subtly. Alliances formed, trade routes opened, and fleets once ready for war now cooperated. Civilizations began to recognize humans not only as survivors, but as leaders capable of guiding cooperation and progress. Even the Vortak, once aggressive and fearful, began tentative negotiations. Admiral Zarvek sent a message. Humans have proven themselves. We seek guidance and collaboration. Let us work together for mutual benefit, Elias responded, careful and deliberate. Humanity welcomes cooperation based on ethics, intelligence, and mutual respect. Together we can explore, protect, and develop the galaxy. The first coordinated missions began. Humans worked alongside alien allies to explore uncharted systems, recover lost knowledge, and establish communication networks. Education and collaboration became central to their strategy. Knowledge of science, diplomacy, and ethics spread faster than weapons could travel. Back on Titan's Pride, the humans celebrated small victories, not in conquest, but in understanding. A new planet was charted, its resources carefully catalogued. Alien species learned from humans' methods not by force but by demonstration. Trust, once fragile, began to solidify. Captain Elias addressed his crew one final time. We have awakened humanity and shown the galaxy our strength and our ethics. But the true legacy begins now. It is not enough to survive. We must guide, protect, and inspire. Humanity's role is not to dominate, but to lead wisely and courageously. Let this be the dawn of a new galactic era. The crew nodded, united in purpose. Each member understood that intelligence, ethics, and courage were humanity's greatest weapons. They had returned from centuries of stasis, not to reclaim territory or power, but to demonstrate the best of what humans could offer the galaxy. Outside, the stars shone brightly, reflecting off the sleek hull of Titan's Pride. Drones moved, silently, scanning, protecting, and preparing for exploration. The galaxy, once uncertain and fearful, now watched with admiration. Humans had proven that strength without ethics was not the way forward. Intelligence guided by morality was the true power. All across systems, civilizations began to rebuild cooperation. Trade resumed, fleets coordinated, and diplomats shared knowledge. Humanity had become the catalyst for a renaissance of ethics, knowledge, and courage. The galaxy, once divided by fear and suspicion, now had a model for unity. Even the unknown, Energy anomaly approached, but humans met it with preparation, curiosity, and caution. Exploration teams were ready to investigate, ensuring that no misunderstanding would lead to unnecessary conflict. Humanity had learned from the past, and history would not repeat itself. In the coming months, humans continued to demonstrate leadership. Ships trained together with alien allies, scientific research advanced rapidly, and new civilizations discovered humans not as conquerors, but as guides and protectors. Trust grew steadily as humans balanced intelligence with ethics, power with restraint. Captain Elias often stood on the observation deck, watching the galaxy unfold. "We have done what few thought possible," he said softly. "We have awakened, defended ourselves, and inspired. But the journey continues. Humanity's true legacy will be in guiding, protecting, and sharing knowledge. This is our responsibility and our privilege." Aegis responded, calm and assured. "Humanity has demonstrated ethical and strategic superiority. Galaxy-wide cooperation is increasing. Probability of long-term stability under human guidance, high. And so the galaxy entered a new era. Humans were no longer lost legends. They were leaders, innovators, and examples of courage and ethics. Civilizations learned to cooperate, to explore, and to resolve conflicts intelligently. Power was respected, but not feared. Knowledge was shared, but not hoarded. Humanity's return had not brought war, but wisdom. Across systems, aliens looked to humans for guidance. They marveled at technology, admired strategic thinking, and respected the ethical approach that guided every action. The presence of humans became a beacon, inspiring civilizations to aim higher, think better, and act with morality. And at the center of it all, Titan's pride floated silently among the stars, a symbol of humanity's perseverance, intelligence, and ethics. Its crew continued to explore, defend, and inspire. The galaxy, once divided by fear and uncertainty, now had a new standard to follow. Courage, intellect, and moral responsibility embodied in human form. Captain Elias looked out at the stars one last time. "We have awakened. The galaxy has seen humanity's strength and ethics. Now it is up to us to lead wisely, explore boldly, and inspire every civilization we encounter. This is the dawn of a new era, and humanity will rise, not through fear, but through courage, wisdom, and ethics." The stars sparkled above, silent witnesses to a new beginning. Humanity had returned, not as conquerors, but as leaders, protectors, and teachers. The galaxy had changed forever,